Our main topic is monogamy. Through this presentation, we will try to answer the following questions. Are we inherently monogamous? Did we evolve to be a monogamous species? And what were the evolutionary advantages of being or not being monogamous? Our opinion about monogamy before doing any research was that we did not evolve to be monogamous. Our main arguments were four. First, monogamy is rare in other animals. Second, there are cultures in which polygamy is commonplace. Third, the higher rates of divorce and infidelity can be seen as an inclination people have to mate with more than one partner. And lastly, other forms of partnerships such as open relationships, triads, and other non-monogamous relationships are getting popular in our culture.
This is what we found after doing some more research. The rise of monogamy is thought to have coincided with the agricultural revolution and property. Hunter-gatherer societies have been described as fiercely egalitarian, with men and women both providing and sharing food, resources, and skills. This all changed with the agricultural revolution. The increase in human capital and labour caused a huge change in social structure, and female autonomy decreased, rendering polygamous relationships less economically beneficial. Now men could work on the farm providing for women, who could take primary care of their children. Naturally, choosing the right partner is not only challenging but crucial to species fitness. Women who chose the wrong partner may end up without any money or resources to look after the infants, while men who failed to commit to a partner would not pass on his genes at all. Helen Fisher has studied monogamy in modern society and found that monogamous relationships last for an average of 4 years. This is the same number of years that an infant is most vulnerable and requires the most care. Perhaps monogamy only arose for this reason. Genetic testing can give us some more information about the mating systems of other species. Genetic testing in chimps and bonobos shows that males tend to have children with multiple females. However, females tend to have children with a small group of males. This does not prove that their societies are multi-female. Instead, this is because during ovulation, females mate with alpha males in order to produce their offspring with good genes. When they're not ovulating, they mate with other males whose genes may not be as strong. Furthermore, looking at genetic testing can only give us information about the past 10,000 years of our timeline, which is only 5%. By looking at human physiology and sexual behaviour in comparison to other primates, we can find out more about whether or not we are inherently monogamous. Monogamy is rare in primates. Gibbons are the only monogamous primates. However, they do not show similar sexual behaviour to humans. In fact, humans show similarities to chimps and bonobos, two very sexually promiscuous species, which live in multi-male, multi-female groups. Like humans, but unlike other species, bonobos and chimps both have sex for pleasure and facing each other. Now we look at human physiology. Humans have external testicles, which is associated with sperm competition, meaning competition at the level of the sperm, not the level of the man, suggesting that women were having sex with multiple males during the same ovulatory cycle and would be fertilized by the strongest sperm, therefore passing on good genes. What is more, when a woman has been away from her partner for a few days, where she may have been sleeping with someone else, when she comes back, the man will have a higher sperm count than before, and the sperm is better quality when a male has sex with a new female. Sexual dimorphism. Species with lower sexual dimorphism, like gibbons, tend to be monogamous, while polygamous species tend to have higher sexual dimorphism. Humans have higher sexual dimorphism than gibbons, but lower than chimpanzees and gorillas. This suggests that perhaps humans are somewhere in between monogamy and complete polygamy. This can also be seen by looking at relative testis size in comparison to body size. Larger testis size generally reflects promiscuity. Human testes are smaller than chimps and gorillas, but larger than monogamous primates such as gibbons, implying that humans are not necessarily monogamous.
Now we are going to see the weak points of our initial position. First, we pointed out how monogamy is not common across all cultures. Now we state that although sometimes it is shown in the form of polygyny or polyandry, the most commonly observed form of a pairing is serial monogamous unions that are characterized by low levels of extra-pair paternity, which indicates sexual fidelity, and high levels of paternal care. Some studies have shown that monogamy could be more than just the social norm, as we have some inclinations that could be originated in the neurobiology of sexual differentiation, like some of the major traits of monogamy that are partner preferences and mate guarding, that have been linked with interactions between oxytocin and vasopressin. Research proposes that in ancestral mating systems, polygyny was likely present, but evidence supports the prevalence of social monogamy, including multiple partners through serial monogamy, and occasionally uncommitted sexual relationships. Regarding divorce, high rates can be due to the society's new concept of family, fair distribution of assets after divorce, and the social perception of divorced people, and not just because of a failure of monogamy. In the past, it was more difficult to divorce, especially for women, because of the lack of resources to raise children on their own, and in some cases, they even needed permission from their partner. As we've seen, social monogamy accepts serial social relationships, so divorce doesn't really indicate a failure in monogamy, once again. Finally, we regarded infidelity and jealousy as arguments against monogamous relationships. Although it's been shown that monogamous individuals mate guard more than people in consensual non-monogamous relationships, it's been proven that the latter ones also experiment distress when facing the possibility of their partners forming an extra-pair relationship, especially for their primary versus secondary partners. Moreover, infidelity can also occur for polyamorous relationships, in which the boundaries are set by people that form those partnerships.
Our current position on monogamy did not come without flaws. We are commenting some of them here. So we have multiplicity of theories, paternity and infanticide, and partner scarcity. So the first problem we encounter is multiplicity of theories, the fact that there are many theories that try to explain the reasons why we are monogamous nowadays. The thing is that many of them are complementary, although there are some who are contradictory or that challenges other authors' positions. Also, there are many ways in which we can define monogamy. In nature, a monogamous species is one that mates with only one partner for life, whereas in humans, monogamy means to be committed to one person for a given period of time. Second, it is thought that monogamy evolved as a strategy to ensure paternity and/or to protect offspring from infanticidal competitors. By standing by their partner's side, males could ensure that the offspring that they had were theirs, that it was carrying their genes, not others. On the other hand, they could also protect their offspring from infanticides, which happens when a new alpha arrives. Lastly, there is a theory that questions monogamy occurring as a consequence of the factors mentioned before, that is, paternity insurance and infanticide. This theory claims that those two factors were consequences rather than the cause of monogamy. The main reason why we evolved as monogamous beings is because of partner scarcity. When there were plenty of partners to be chosen from, the most optimal solution was to mate with as many as possible. However, when partners were a scarce resource, the smartest strategy was to commit to one, so to ensure that at least they will have one partner and not try to get as many as possible and then get none. This can be better understood with the saying, a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. As a result of that choice, there were contralateral effects or consequences. which offered advantages such as paternity insurance, infanticide, and others.
There is a lot of contradicting evidence on the subject of monogamy in humans. After weighing up our research, we've come to the conclusion that although monogamy may have offered some evolutionary advantages in the past, as a species we are not strictly monogamous. Monogamy can be seen as an adaptation which has had different social benefits for men, women, and children. However, it is not inherently part of our species. Although we may have evolved with monogamy, we can choose whether or not to be monogamous, much like vegetarianism. Perhaps monogamy is only the best mating system we have come up with so far, much like a political system, in order to deal with our evolutionary uniqueness. Thanks for watching.